You're listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. On today's episode, hosts Stephen and Mariah recap this last year and give tips for schools this summer and a glimpse into next school year. This episode is sponsored by the St. Janine de Lessenac School. St. Janine's vision is to guide and challenge our students through excellent teaching. They strive to develop a sense of ownership for each student in their own lifelong learning journey. Students can achieve their maximum potential to become a faith-filled, literate, interesting, and contributing members of a multicultural society. Thanks for listening.
Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast, the final episode of season
Mariah? Season 5, Stephen.
5. As always, my co-host Mariah Thompson. How are you?
I'm doing good. And it's okay that you never can remember the seasons. You've been the OG host. So you have been completing all the 5 seasons. I also see the number pretty often, so that's okay. But I'm doing well, bearing through tornado season in Texas. Glad to be spending some summertime in New York to get away from the storms and the heat. So it's great.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about season 5, if you are listening to this and there's anything that you're wondering about, either just shoot us a line, ask us a question so that we can deal with it, but also have a look at some of the older episodes that we've done. There's some great content there dealing with just so many topics, conversations that I have on a daily basis with students, with families, with schools and school partners of ours. So be sure if you have a couple minutes to have a look through some of the archives of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. I think as a final episode, it's only right for us to sort of just give a little bit of a stop and review episode and sort of see where we're at. Because so much has happened, right? We are at the beginning of June, students are graduating. We've just had success story upon success story of incredible students that are either graduating onto the next grade or that are either moving on to the next grade or graduating onto some incredible opportunities and universities. So I'll kick things off because I want to talk a little bit about, some of the things that we have happening, some of the initiatives. First and foremost, Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, our CEM, really our flagship product, our flagship initiative at Cambridge. And I just wanted to give a quick update to say that it's, continues to be very, very evident that if schools want to either build or maintain a robust international program, they have to be involved in the digital space. The trend continues to move towards digital representation, omni-channel marketing that makes use of all these different digital, platforms. And again, if you're just thinking about it in general, how are you as a listener consuming all of your information? I could probably guess that a lot of it is coming through digital platforms, social media, Google searches here in the US, and we can certainly offer that and cater that to you. And we sort of see this every year around this time, but I had several conversations with schools that got to, sort of beginning of May and realized that we're just not where we want to be with our enrollment numbers and specifically our international enrollment numbers. So with discussions around budgets coming up on school boards and review of numbers, this is a great time to have that conversation with your school board, with your head of school, with your director of enrollment, director of international programs, your CFO, thinking about how investment into your international program, investment into Cambridge Enhanced Marketing or some form of digital marketing is going to be the key to you unlocking bigger recruitment and enrollment numbers for 2025. So think about it now, have the conversation now so that you don't get to next May, as many of our school partners and many outside schools that have contacted us have, and are unfortunately not in a great spot. Mariah, I don't know if you want to say anything about that. I know you've been so involved as well in sort of the marketing stuff we're doing and all of our outreach. If there's anything that you want to add to our Cambridge Enhanced Marketing review.
Yeah, I would just say be on the lookout. We have a case study that I just finished looking at our CEM partners, but specifically looking at ones who've been signed on for the last few years and seeing where they're at and how they've grown. But they're also two totally different types of schools. So if you're the school that is not in a location that is pretty popular for international students to come, but you're looking to build your program, we have a school that is in this case study that is like that, and they have, through CEM, have tremendously increased their program. And then we also have a school in this case study that is in an area that's very popular, and there's several schools in the area that are also recruiting. And through CEM, they've been able to maintain competitively in their area and their program through exposure of CEM. So just to say, take a look at that case study, and it also will teach you a little bit of the ins and outs of marketing and why staying consistent in marketing execution helps maintain that program. So just be on the look for that, I would say.
Absolutely. Some great case studies for you to have a look at and help you make some informed decisions. The other thing that I do, and it's so connected to Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, are our in-person recruitment trips. I get almost as many conversations that I'm having with current partners and with new potential partners about, can we get to China? Can we get to Vietnam? Can we get to Korea? We want to meet students, meet agents, have a look what's happening on the ground. We are moving towards our third trip since sort of we re-kicked things off. So in the fall of 23, we had very successful trips to China, and then to Vietnam and in Korea. We had another incredibly successful trip in the spring with some of our partners, and we already have 3 confirmed schools going to China for a fall recruitment trip in person. So we see that as essential in a lot of ways. It just adds to a little bit of that marketing momentum that we're building, that branding work that we're doing through Cambridge Enhanced Marketing. But of course, it also gives families and students and school partners the opportunity to just be on the ground, meet one another, shake hands, exchange some stories, enjoy a meal together. And for school partners, really to get educated about the market, to build some network, to build some community there, and get to know some of the people that you're working with, and just understand the culture, because you have sometimes 5, sometimes 10, sometimes 20 of students from a certain country, and you need to understand that culture to be able to cater to them, to be able to look after them effectively. So our trips have been incredibly run by all of our teams, our global teams, and if you are interested, it's something that we exclusively offer to our Cambridge Enhanced Marketing partners. Reach out, let's talk, let's have a conversation about when and why a trip could potentially be really, really good for you, but we're excited about that.
We have an episode on it from the last trip that Stephen went on, and there's an episode, I asked him a bunch of questions about it and the effects of it and school outcomes from it. So if you're also curious and want to learn more before taking a call, I would say listen to the episode.
Absolutely. Then the final thing, at least on my agenda in terms of what I want to quickly review, Mariah, is our SMOA initiative.
Yes.
Essentially our academic services, portfolio initiative that we offer to students and the schools across the country. It's been almost rebranded in a way, but just incredibly well received in all of our markets. More and more, we're just seeing, obviously, students with the need for some form of academic, service, whether that be on the intervention level. Maybe they're struggling with a couple of courses. Maybe they need additional ESL courses. We can absolutely offer that in group or one-on-one tutoring. It's super flexible, online. We've put into a student's schedule because we know they're incredibly busy. And the flip side of that, which has been really exciting for schools as well, is we offer a host, I think upwards of around 30 AP courses that we can offer to students online, flexible, Cognia certified and accredited, so that they can show up on transcripts. That schools have been super excited about, because I think in the past, if you've had really high performing academic students, they've often come to a school and said, you don't offer the following AP courses, I might want to look elsewhere. I might want to transfer out and go to a different school, or I'm unhappy with what you're offering. And here you have a trustworthy partner that has an incredible program for you to be able to enroll these kids in. So we've had schools reach out to us and say, you know what, I've got 3 students. They've done exceptionally well. We want to give them the opportunity to expand their AP course, that they've taken. What can you offer us? And we've seen some great success stories come through that. Mariah, I know you've been part of that branding specifically, but anything from your side about SMOA that's been notable?
Yeah, I think that what's been really notable is because I also sometimes collaborate with our Cambridge Care. So I'm hearing directly from our international students that are plugged in at schools. And I went to an alumni chat they were having, and the main question that the students kept asking the alumni was about AP courses and how important they were, what tips and tricks did they have, um, just honestly it seemed like a little bit of a cry from for help because they're stressed. It's hard to take an AP test when English is your first language. Now throw it in that it's not your first language.
Yeah.
And so students just have a lot of questions and support because they understand how important AP courses are to their college future and their transcripts. So while I was on the call, I was able to talk to some of them about SMOA. And so it's not only for the student that is ready for a new course or wants to challenge himself and take a course that maybe the school isn't offering. It does help the student that is struggling because the tutor that they have is equipped for the course, but also they speak the same language as the student.
Yeah.
And so they're able to teach them either as a prerequisite to come in before they actually take the whole class, or as a recovery program. If there's a student that really did not do well, they can come through SMOA and retake the course and improve their grade. And then in collaboration with the school, we'll figure out how that works for your transcripts and what we can do for that. But students are excited about that, and they're really looking forward to having something like that as a resource. And teachers are excited to have something like that because there's only so much you can do with a language barrier. And not that, I mean, we are really grateful for all the teachers that we have had, and students do well, but we're just seeing that sometimes some students just need a little extra support in that area. So SMOA is a great resource that doesn't cost anything to the school, that they could utilize to help their struggling student so they can also help support their re-enrollment and future student enrollments coming in.
Absolutely. So well said. And the final thing that I do want to say about that, which has been awesome to see, I think more and more schools are starting to realize how crucial these types of initiatives are because they lead to student success. So I think in the beginning, maybe there was a little bit of, schools were struggling with the fact that, we don't necessarily want students to take additional things because we really want them to be involved with what we have here at school. But at the end of the day, whether you agree or not, we want our students, whether you agree with or not with the program, we want our students to be successful. And this has certainly led to that. And the bottom line is when students are successful, when you are giving them what they want, what they need, at the end of the day, that's marketing gold for you as a program. Because they will go, they will speak to their agents, they will speak to their family members, and you will see increased enrollment off the back of a student success. So bear that in mind. SMOA, great resource. Mariah, those are the three things that I wanted to sort of cover. Any final sort of thoughts from your side as we start to wrap up season 5 and almost wrap up the academic year as well?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to all our schools for another year of support. We also had a little bit more hands-on connection to our school officials when it came to host recruitment as well, just you connecting more to our host recruitment team. So we just want to say thank you for connecting with Leanna or Christy more often so that we can get your host numbers where they need to be and should be, and also an overflow so that we won't have any issues. And we've been able to do that for majority of our schools. And that does come from school support. So just thank you from the host recruitment team. I help support them a little bit. And so I feel their gratitude for you guys of connecting with them. Continue to support them. Continue to support Cambridge Care too. If you have a student that's struggling, we have a lot of care resources. Feel free to connect with anyone in Cambridge and they'll point you in the right direction. And then, Stephen, do you want to let them know what they can be doing this summer in support schools?
School partners?
Yeah. It could be nothing, but I just want to highlight summertime for them.
No, 100%. I think, and I touched on this earlier. I think from a recruitment and admissions and a marketing side, I think this is a super important time for schools to take stock. Next year, March, April, May is too late to make changes. You really need to start thinking now about the goals that you want to achieve and about thinking how you're going to get there. We touched, of course, on Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, a great opportunity. We touched on our recruitment trips, a great opportunity. But, SMOA, another great opportunity to lead to student success and to help you with that recruitment cycle. So now's a great time to take stock. It's been a long year. Think about what goals, what do you want to achieve as a program for the coming years and put things in place. Let's have that conversation. Nothing hurts just sitting down with us and having a conversation and seeing where you are and what those goals are. And we can certainly hopefully help you achieve them as we have for many of our partners for this current year.
Yeah.
To all of our listeners, I think as a final thank you for listening, for engaging. We appreciate every single one of you. We hope that we can, have provided you in the school year, at least with some content that has been useful. As I always say, remember to write us a line if there's anything specific that you want us to deal with. Our contact details are in the show notes. To my co-host, Mariah Thompson, you've been a pleasure to work with. We'll be seeing a lot more of each other in the summer as we prep for the new school year.
Yes.
With some exciting new things coming out of Cambridge as well, and we're excited to share with you when season 6 officially kicks off.
Yes.
To all of our listeners, thank you, and we'll see you around the next episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. For more Cambridge updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Have a great week and stay connected.